Okay, hey everybody. So here we are with another episode of whatever we're going to call this. This is take two. And today we're going to be talking about um, really kind of like non-traditional or maybe less popular or less common, things that people, that are trying to live a healthy lifestyle and, really take their health to the next level or keep their health at a high level. So we're going to give you some kind of ways that are some things that I think people aren't talking about as much, so we can just really add value to you guys. So I'm going to let Dr. V kick off with the first one, and then we'll go from there.
Well, the first one that I wanted to talk about, I knew instantly was castor oil. And that is because it is so beneficial, but it is so non-invasive. And ultimately, it's pretty cheap when you're thinking about like ways to really kickstart your health. It has been used for thousands of years. Specifically, they can date it back almost 4,000 years to India, which is pretty cool. It is made from a flowering plant. So you take the actual seed, open it up, and then there's little beans in there, and they break those beans down, and that's what turns into castor oil. It is a very complicated process. So you do want to make sure when you are getting castor oil that you're getting one, number one, that is organic. Number two, that is in a dark glass bottle. And then the lighter the castor oil is, the less processed it is. So the better it is for you to have a really potent amount of those healing abilities. It can be used for so many different things. I feel like almost every issue that a patient has brought into the office, I've been like, have you tried castor oil? Because why not? It's just an easily accessible item that has really been making a world of difference. And like me and Dr. Barnes always say on these, like, we don't want you to use this as medical advice. You can, of course, ask whoever for any of your different issues. But I will tell you just a few testimonials that we've had in our office from using castor oil. I think most commonly people associate it with that it can help with digestive issues, specifically constipation, because it is something that works very effectively for that. But it actually is one of the most deeply penetrating oils that you can put on your body. So even more so than coconut oil. So when you're placing it on the skin, it will actually go very deep, and it can break up any like fibroids, cysts. We even have a patient that cured her breast cancer just from putting castor oil packs on the tumor.
Love
And
it.
again, I'm not telling you to, if you have cancer, don't do whatever. I'm just saying,
Right.
like, this is stuff that I know has worked because I've literally seen my patients go through this.
Yep.
But it's pretty amazing that something like that can have such a profound effect on the body. So what I would recommend is for anyone, you can just do what we call a castor pack, and you can just put it right over your liver. It helps so much with detoxification. So you will literally just sleep with your castor pack on, and your castor pack is just this little, it can either be lambskin, organic wool. It's very comfortable, and you'll just put castor oil on it and then place that right over your liver. And it's going to be great for detoxification. It's going to actually enlarge, so increase the diameter of your bile ducts while decreasing, breaking down the actual bile. So that is going to be so helpful for your liver, for your gallbladder, to help your body just become the healthiest version in whatever you're doing, right? Because you really want those systems working very well. It's antimicrobial, which means it's antibacterial. So you can put it on your scalp. If you have acne or if you have any open sores, you can actually put it directly onto that and it will heal it. It increases oxygenation, it decreases free radicals. People have used it for scars. You can actually take it, like, let's say you have a scar from a surgery or maybe a C-section scar. You can actually put castor oil kind of between your fingers, warm it up, and then do some very light massage on there for a few minutes every night. And it would actually break up the scar tissue underneath it while healing the scar.
Wow.
I mean, people have, you can put it on under your eyes for bags. I know a lot of people have heard about it in the like cosmetic world for hair growth. It's used a lot for that already. Like even my hairdresser was like, just put some castor oil with rosemary like on your scalp to help it grow back whenever I was going through all the like COVID post hair loss stuff. And it really did work amazing. You can put it on your eyebrows, you can put it on your eyelashes, which brings me to another cool testimonial. And Dr. Barnes is probably just like smiling because he kind of hears these all firsthand too. But I had a patient. So Kudos to Dr. Jockers. He's kind of the one who introduced me to castor oil. I, of course, have heard about it, but I just didn't understand how beneficial and how powerful this oil was until I really started researching it. And he's kind of the first one that opened my eyes to this. And then I got exposed to Dr. Barbara. And so that led me down this whole just like rabbit tail of what can castor oil be used for. But anyways, I found this amazing article about how people were using it to heal cataracts. And I had a patient that was coming in that was diagnosed with it, that was literally going to have surgery. She was
Wow.
on a few different types of medications. And I think for her specifically, there were ones that you put in her eyes. So I showed her the video that I had found, showed her a couple of articles, and she was like, I'm going to show this to my optometrist and I'm going to use it. I mean, why not? There's not like anything negative that you could come from it.
Yeah.
Anyways, fast forward a few months later, she comes into the office, y'all, and she has gotten the best report that she has had. And she shared with us that she did that without any medication. Like she wasn't using her drops. She wasn't doing anything orally. The only thing that she was doing was just putting it on her eyes at night. How
Wow.
amazing is that? That it could
Yeah.
penetrate that deep to break up cataracts. But it kind of makes sense when you're thinking about it. And then I know we kind of discussed very briefly, and we're trying to keep this short. So if you have any more specific questions, please ask me, because I would obviously love to talk castor oil all day long. But
Yeah. So let me
oh
kind
yeah,
of, let me try to fill in some crap. Well, and just for me, like I'm actually not that well educated on it. So I probably have a lot of the same questions that other people would have. So number one would be, is there anybody or any reasons why a person would have to be like, like not do it or particularly careful with it? Like what would be some, I guess, maybe contraindications for that?
yeah. Well, I don't know off the top of my head any like specific contraindications. Like the big ones that we always have are like, any specific type of arthritis, like rheumatoid arthritis. Usually you can't take specific supplements, like even turmeric. You can
Right.
do castor oil. It's actually like medically, that is one of the main treatments that they do in India for arthritis pain, is to actually rub that on there. And then cancer, well, it actually helps. I don't want to say cure cancer because I feel like that's going to be like this great backlash, but it really
Yeah.
does. Like there are studies on mice where you can see the tumors being broken up by this.
Yeah.
The only thing, and that's what I was about to say, was it is, and I don't even know if this is technically a contraindication, but for my moms who are in their reproductive years, who are potentially trying to get pregnant, what you would do is during your cycle, so from the start of your period until you ovulate, and if you're not sure when you ovulate, probably around 14 days, you want to keep that castor pack down low, so on the lower abdomen, to
Mhm.
just really ensure that you're increasing blood flow to that area, that you are breaking up potentially any cysts or fibroids or even endometriosis that could be affecting those organs. But then after you ovulate, you want to move that over to the right side back to your liver.
Perfect.
As a guy, it doesn't really matter where you're putting it, but as a female, you want to make sure that you're kind of cycling back and forth.
Okay. So next question would be like, what's just, let's say you're not trying to, because we don't treat conditions anyways, but let's say you're just like, I want to do this generally for my health. Um, how would, like, what would be like, how would you start? And then like, how would you kind of work up to that?
Well, I would generally say putting it over your liver is one of
Hmm.
the best places to do it, because that is like the powerhouse of your body.
Hmm.
A lot of even diagnoses, I would say, probably the root cause of that is your liver. So just helping that is probably going to help anything.
Yep.
And I will say, all of my patients who have tried that, for whatever reason, your sleep will be improved. Like I feel like I would put my hand down on the Bible and say, if you do a castor pack, your sleep will be improved. Another just general thing that a lot of people do is during the day, they'll just take a Q-tip of it and actually put it in their belly button, just to help with digestion and motility and just to help keep things moving. And that's something easy,
Yeah.
because I will say with the castor packs, if you're putting if you put castor oil on, it will leak through the pack some, so it can cause like an oily stain on your pajamas.
Yeah.
So I just know, like the first few nights that I'm wearing it, I don't wear like my super nice pajamas because I'm like,
Right.
I don't want to get them messed up. But
Yeah.
and that is something that no one ever talked about. So I will warn you, like, don't wear
Right.
your nicest PJs, especially if you have nice ones, because they could potentially get messed up.
And then just to make sure I heard you correctly, so you said that you want to buy one that is in a dark bottle. And
Mhm.
then you said the lighter the better or the darker the better?
The lighter, the better.
Okay. Of the actual castor oil. It
The
needs to be like
the, the
closer to
dark
clear
glass,
versus cloudy. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
And then I guess is there like a brand or anything that you would like look for like that might like for example, if we're buying olive oil, right? You want to get
Yeah.
the organic extra virgin, right? So are there any
Cold
like, kind of
press.
yeah,
Yeah.
like taglines that you would want to look for on the one, or do you even have just like maybe a couple of brands or like a specific company or something that you kind of have looked into and feel good about?
Yeah, I mean, I would be open to any of them that were in a glass bottle that was dark, that is
Mhm.
organic and cold pressed.
Okay.
I do feel like because
It's
castor
kind
oil,
of the same things you'd almost look for in an olive oil because you want to get in dark bottle. Okay, cool. That makes it easy.
and there because it's been around so long, there's so many options. So I'm not going to say like this one is better than this one, as long
Yep.
as it's those things. We do sell Heritage in our office with other supplements, so that's actually the brand that I use.
What
And
brand?
it
Okay.
works amazing. So it's a pink bottle and it's easy to find.
Cool. Like Amazon or whatever.
Yeah, even Whole Foods sells it. If you buy from Amazon, that's fine. Just with anything off of Amazon, make sure it's coming from the actual store
Yeah, yeah,
because people can just fake it and then you're paying money for no reason.
exactly. I love it. Well, I'm sure you're gonna get a million more questions about it now, which is great.
It makes
But
me excited.
yeah, no, I mean, I think, and this is kind of like why I'm gonna go off on like a little business rant, here too, just for a second, because oftentimes what I find, and this is even me as a customer, like you know, I kind of continually evaluate, like if I'm on like a subscription, like Netflix or whatever, it's something I'm paying for regularly. Every so often, right, those questions come in your head, right? Whereas like, okay, is this still worth it? Am I still getting the value, out of this thing that I'm paying for? And sometimes the answer is no, and then and then you cancel. But like, these are the kind of things where, you technically, in a way, you don't pay us to become, experts in stuff like this, but like we kind of take it upon ourselves to do the research for you, to learn these things and then bring it to you so that we're, always kind of giving you the next level of things, at least in our, kind of industry and world. So, um, I guess what I'm trying to say is y'all are welcome for this amazing information. And it sounds like for the majority of people, that has a high potential of saving the average person thousands of dollars or more if it's canceling surgeries or avoiding, other crazy things, and we're giving it to you for free. So anyways, y'all are welcome for that. That was my little rant. Okay, anything else you want to add on castor oil or?
The only thing that I would end is like I would even if you're on the fence about it, why not try it? Like I
Yeah,
said, it's only going to improve oxygenation, decrease your oxidative stress, like decrease inflammation. So why not just give it a go? I mean, there's been things like we've had a patient who her cycle has been very irregular. She hasn't been diagnosed with PCOS, but we're pretty sure that's what she's dealing with. And like again, we don't want to deal in diagnoses, but we do want to help a patient get to the cause. And sometimes that's just part of the journey.
right.
But I was like, why don't we try castor packs? Like we were doing some hormone balancing through the office. I was like, let's just add this onto it. Y'all, for 2 years, she has not ovulated, and she ovulated within the first 2 months of using the castor pack. So it's like, why not? Why not give it a go? I was talking with a patient about it today because it has been, you can look it up for it's really helpful with like pain and swelling, edema, and it helps improve like the oxygenation to tissues because it is like a dilator for the blood flow. And so I have a couple of pregnant moms who have some really painful varicose veins, and their OBs are like, listen, it'll go away when you're not pregnant. You just have to deal with it. They can't really take over the counter pain meds because they are pregnant.
Right.
So I was like, let's try that. So I'm going to report back. I just talked to a patient about it this morning, and I'm like, if that works, like what an easy journey that's not only helping with the pain, but like potentially could be correcting that problem without any side effects. I don't know. It's just so cool. It's just such an
Yeah.
easy kind of catch all. So I love it.
Well, I think my takeaway too, for this is that, I mean, I am under I operate, and we've kind of talked about this on other videos in the past. It's like that it really is this polarized in a sense where you either believe wholeheartedly in your heart of hearts that um, the body is capable of healing from anything and everything, provided it has the right resources and not too much interference. So meaning there's nothing like, either toxic from a toxic perspective or mechanically interfering with your body's ability to thrive and do those things. So when I hear you talking about, well, it has the potential to help with cataracts or tumors, or that, I mean, I personally believe that the body has the ability to heal all those things. And of course, those things can heal from other things other than, castor, oil, right? I mean, but I always just kind of go back to, all right, well, it would make sense that if we were put here, on this planet to thrive and to, really, well, yeah, just to thrive, it would make sense that the solutions to challenges that we would come across in our life or our health, right, would be available, right, for us to interact with, consume, fix, right, and do all those things. So I think for me, it's kind of like a duh. Like, of course, there's like something out there that is at a minimum helpful to anything and everything that you have might going on with your health, just in the same way as like chiropractic, like in the way we talk about chiropractic, where it's not like chiropractic can cure everything and everything, all things and everything, but no matter what you have going on, getting adjusted is going to help, whether it's 1% or, a million percent.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, why not have things that have that potential a part of your life on a incredibly frequent and regular basis, to make sure that as we live in an ever increasingly toxic and stressful and really, like, damaging world, and on multiple layers, that you're really continually refortifying and supporting and giving your body the raw materials or the resources to thrive and keep going and do all those things. So otherwise you're just kind of left, to your own devices. And just, I'm gonna, because I heard about this the other day, there was a new study that came out. So just kind of go on to like why really anybody could benefit from this, especially supporting their liver, is a new study came out on the prevalence of microplastics in really like our daily lives as human beings. And I mean, it's just stupid, crazy, honestly a little bit scary, as far as like how prevalent microplastics have invaded. Oh, he makes his appearance again.
Yeah.
um I have to get my dogs on here one time, so because they're cute too.
They are
um
so cute. He like
but
listens to you. He's like looking at you.
oh yeah, I mean, everybody should listen to me. I got some good things to say.
Oh my God.
But when it comes down to the average, American, they found consumes a credit card worth of microplastic per week, and that stuff does not break down. I mean, in fact, it doesn't even break down in the ocean. Like, so you think about the incredibly high salinity, like salt content of the ocean, and how that can break down ships. And like, I mean, it's right, you got the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean that's continually breaking down, right? Steel, we're talking about like stainless steel, like, and these microplastics, they don't disintegrate in that, they break down into small, they eventually get smaller and smaller, but then the ability for animals and other things to consume them increases, because they're any then size animals. So when we talk about, like, my gosh, like, we know that those chemicals are forever chemicals. We know that they are obesogens, meaning they literally make you fatter. Like, they're toxic. They're xenoestrogens, meaning they disrupt your hormones. And we're consuming a credit card worth of that a week, that our body is going to have a hard time breaking out. You got that, just one of many examples we could go over of why you got to protect yourself and give it everything that it needs. So good deal. Well, I hope this was informative. Castor oil for the win. And we look forward to hearing y'all that want to try it out and your results. And, these are one of those things too, that are just, if you get results with this, like, it's so easy to share this with other people, because it's like, my gosh, like if there are people in our circles that are suffering and struggling with their health, ultimately, in my opinion, it falls on us to at least say something, or do something. It's like if we know a person that's going into for cataract surgery, right, or having mentions it, and we at least don't, mention that there might be a different way of tackling like that, like that's on us, because unless that person magically hears about it on their own, like they're never going to hear about it, because it's not something that doctors are going to talk about. It's certainly not something that pharmaceutical companies are going to say, oh, hey, by the way, don't get our surgeries and buy our drugs, just use castor oil because it's darn near free, or it's at least super cheap and it works better than our stuff anyways. Like you're just never going to hear that from the mainstream, mouthpieces. And so it's only through grassroots efforts, right, do people really find castor oil chiropractic, right? And really just a healthier, more vibrant way of living. So anyways, episode 3 of whatever we're going to call this is,
Only castor oil.
I think it was enough. That was I gave it plenty of for people to focus on and elevate their health. So, all right. Have a good
Okay.
one.